With the current lockdowns in place and many Albertans suffering financially, the last thing we need right now is a tax hike, right? But according to the Canadian Taxpayers Federation, we will be paying higher income taxes this year. To talk about this in more detail is Franco Terrazzano, Alberta Director of the CTF. He joins me now from Calgary. Franco, you say the increase is courtesy of the government's backdoor tax grab known as bracket creep. What exactly is bracket creep?
Is a sneaky backdoor income tax grab. And it happens when the government stops moving the income tax system with inflation. And that can mean that inflation can push taxpayers into higher tax brackets, even though what we can actually afford to buy hasn't increased. Now, there's another issue too, because bracket creep can also erode the tax-free portion of our income. So at the end of the day, what it means is that it's a very sneaky way for the provincial government to be increasing its tax take at the worst possible time.
Wasn't there a promise from Premier Jason Kenney not to hike taxes during an economic downturn?
Premier Jason Kenney and UCP politicians, they've been rightly saying that now is the worst possible time to increase taxes. But, higher taxes is exactly what is going on in 2021 because of Premier Jason Kenney's sneaky backdoor income tax hike known as bracket creep. Now, further to that, right, Premier Jason Kenney has no mandate to be increasing taxes. He promised Albertans that he would balance the budget without increasing taxes, and that's the promise that Premier Jason Kenney has to go back to.
Now, in the 2019 budget, government officials said that de-indexing the tax system would cost Albertans $196 million in 2021 this year. By the end of 2022, how much will de-indexing actually cost us?
It's going to cost us about $600 million. So certainly bracket creep, it's a sneaky tax grab, and it's a tax grab that's coming at the worst possible time, right? The last thing that Alberta families need right now is Premier Jason Kenney and their provincial government to reach deeper into our pockets with a tax grab. But higher taxes is exactly what Albertans are going to face unless Premier Jason Kenney removes his sneaky backdoor tax grab known as bracket creep.
That was the Alberta Director of the Canadian Taxpayers Federation, Franco Terrazzano, joining me from Calgary.